Ta-da! I just wanted to see what that was like. Spectacular, wasn't it? A deaf guy walks into a bar. The bartender says, "Welcome to Shave&Butcher. I'm going to use all French gear today, so I should be doing the video in French. Tout ce que j'utilise aujourd'hui, c'est français, donc je devrais faire la vidéo en français, mais je vais pas le faire parce que mon français n'est pas aussi bien. So we'll stick to English. Okay, so the razor today, let's start with that, is my only French razor. I actually have one more, but it's sent away, so it shall be coming. This is Thierry Issard, the most famous French straight razor brand. Pretty nice, very good condition. The soap is Martin de Condre. I used this the other night because I saw my friend Martin at YMMV Shaves use his rose, and so I used it, but I wasn't in the mood for making a video, so I'll use it again today. So this is chock-a-block full when it comes to the brim, and you can see I've made 6.5 millimeters of a dent in it in 40-50 shaves. So these are quite pricey, but they last for a year, 2 years, something like that. The brush is from Gentleman et Barbier. It's a badger brush with a thuja handle, and yeah, and I have the eau de toilette. No, yeah, eau de toilette from Martin de Condre, which is the match with this one. So pretty cool. Martin de Condre. Let's go. Let's get the face wet. A little bit tired today. It's Friday. Friday evening, early afternoon, late afternoon, early evening. Went to dinner yesterday in the big town of Göteborg with my friend Victor, who oh yeah, hang on, with my friend Victor, who sometimes watches the videos, not very often, but if you are Victor, happy birthday once again. It was his birthday dinner. So Martin loads for 10 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that's what we're going to use. I can assure you that makes no dent in that soap. Nice dinner, you guys from the office. Steak dinner, had a nice sirloin and some nice vino Italiano. Today we're having French, because it's a French shave. Santé. Still a bit too cold. Yeah, so this gives you plenty of soap to build a lather. No problems there. And I've been to Finland this week. I went to Finland. Quick one, to Lappeenranta, which is about 20 kilometers from the border to Russia. So that was interesting. Of course, we were only there for 24 hours. People actually live there, and it's actually a town which is very much connected to Russia, usually, not anymore. A lot of Russian citizens and Russians with summer houses, and a lot of businesses which used to rely very much on Russian customers, etc. And none of that is working. All of it is gone. It's also home to a few million tons of pulp and paper production. That's why we were there. We have a subsidiary there. And a lot of stuff used to be shipped out on the local canal, which is called Saima, and it reaches the Baltic Sea, so you can go long distance to ship by sea, but not anymore because it exits in Russia. So sanctions and what have you. And we used to be like 4 vessels a day, is now nothing at all. And of course our customer base used to be all Russian, or mainly, and none of that anymore. So big changes to a pretty big part of Europe. And Sweden, looks like Sweden's joining NATO, which was an absolute impossibility just a year and a half ago. No way that would have happened. And now it seems to be happening. It all depends on the mood of the day of the leader in Turkey. So, but he said yes, if he doesn't change his mind. I guess if we burn a few less Korans than we usually do, it could actually work. I don't know if you follow Swedish news, maybe not. So yeah, that will do. Excellent leather. I don't know if you hear my dog. He's out in the garden. He's been locked in the house most of the day, and he's got too much energy, and he's using it to bark at passing dogs and people. Voila, there you go. But Finland was nice. We had only been there for 20 minutes and had just sat down to have a beer. That's how quickly we have a beer when we travel. And before we saw a guy punch another guy at the bar across the street. Right hand, knockout. So the other guy just fell like this to the floor. Boom, with a bang. Police came and everything. So that was exciting. Then we had dinner, which was about 20 deep fried whole little fishes. And mashed potatoes. So that's how you roll. Finnish people are badass people. No other way of putting it. So good fun, get out of the house. We got out of Dodge, or Lappeenranta, or Helsinki actually. Let's look at the ladder, see if it falls off the razor. Boom, shakalaka, yes it did. Got out of Helsinki 2 hours before the American president came, so we were a bit lucky. Otherwise they closed down the airport, and it's a big hoo-ha. So that was good. So that was the most exciting part of my week. My daughter had an exciting day yesterday. Hope she won't mind me telling that story. So she studies social politics, if that's English. Sciences politiques en français. So as part of her studies, they do internships for 6 months. So she's done internship in Stockholm this past semester at the Swedish Peace Association, which is, not as crazy as it sounds. It's an NGO, and there are for peace against war and armory and that sort of thing. But they don't go on the streets and glue themselves to things. It's basically rather intellectual. But you know, they're peace fighters. So the daughter is going back to school in the autumn, but as a summer job, instead of driving a forklift truck at the local clothes, it doesn't matter. She works at a warehouse usually. They asked her if she could do her summer job at that place and actually get paid money to fight for peace. And you know, for her it's brilliant because she likes that sort of thing. They're dead against NATO. I like NATO, so we don't argue, we discuss, but anyway, it doesn't matter. So she's there. And then British band Coldplay they're doing four sold out arena concerts in Gothenburg, 60,000 people a night. So for the last concert, which was the day before yesterday, they wrote to this peace organization and said, Coldplay and Chris Martin, who's the front guy of Coldplay, I went to see them. I think I told you on concert number 2. Anyway, so he wants to meet you. And they said, really? Okay, so the president got on a train down to Gothenburg, and Victoria, who's already down here on the coast, was told to join, and they said, okay, why not? So she took the bus to town, and they've been told to check in at the hotel where the band stayed, so they did. And they got this enormous suite, weird that the band didn't stay there actually, but anyway, so they thought, well, maybe it's a real thing, because they're a small NGO, right? And then they got a call, get to the arena, and they did, and they were handed passes, and security came to get them, and they were ushered into the room where the pre-party was, and it was all friends and family, basically all family. One famous Swedish musician, and them, 2 of them, president and my daughter, the 10th. And they thought, this is really cool, and we're gonna get to see the concert, from a good place in a VIP section. She had been to concert number, 1, I think. So she'd seen them already. And they were asking, will we see them before or after? And the organizers said, we don't know. It was all very stressful because they were just going on stage and 60,000 people waiting. And then the band was supposed to start playing at 9:30, so 9:25. Everybody was ushered out to the arena in the special VIP lounge, and then they started moving, and someone came and said, "You two will come with me." So they did, and they walked through the hallways underneath the arena, and outside the door they were told to wait. So they waited for a few minutes, and then boom, Chris Martin, the front guy of Coldplay, storms out of the room and says, "Hello, Kirsten. Hello, Victoria," who's my daughter. "How are you?" And gave them a hug, and they had a chat for, I don't know how long. My daughter blanked. No, she didn't. They actually had a conversation about what they did and peace and that sort of thing. Because he's into that as well, apparently. whole peace shenanigans. And Victoria said all she could think of was, you know, okay, so now it's 9:30. They're supposed to be on stage. What are they doing talking to us? So she was kind of stressed and more or less asked if, you know, we don't want to be in your way. But, you know, a few minutes later, they waved their goodbyes, and the band, two minutes later, the band was on stage. And they watched the whole show and went to the after party, which was super exclusive. Not even the famous Swedish singer was there. And then went home, and she woke up in the suite, and the president lady had left early. She was there on her own. She called me. She said, "Breakfast's probably included, right?" I said, "Yeah, I would think so." So she went down to have breakfast, checked out, and went home. Pretty surreal. Yeah, whatever, 14 hours. Forrest Gump moment. So anyway, pretty cool day. I hope she won't mind telling the story. Well, she won't, because her mother posted the whole thing and all the emails and communication on Instagram. So I hope she asked permission. Okay, let's do some shaving. Yeah, the things you get into with a bit of luck. With a bit of luck. And yeah, and Coldplay seem to have made the concert a peace theme, so quite a few peace messages. They like peace and then the environment, and their causes like that are important to them. God bless. Yeah, I forgot to take my medication, just realized. So if things are slow, that's why. Because I take medication to speed up, especially on a Friday evening. Yeah. Anyway, so that's how we roll in my family. Well, that's how one of us roll. The rest of us get to go to Finland and watch bar fights. So, you know, it's not as glamorous, but someone's got to do it. Right. This razor is excellent, by the way. This bloody dog again. Soap is pretty good too. Not the most crazy, fascinating soap, but it's good, and the scent is marvelous. Every time I use it, I think it's top 5 of the scents of soaps that I've ever tried. Easily. I picked up the eau de toilette at Pasteur's Pharmacy in New York, and they have every soap on earth, and they had all the Martin de Condres soaps. So I was curious about the Fougère and the Rose, but I didn't get them because they last for so long. If you shave regularly and you want a magnificent scent, you know, I consider Martin de Condres. Cost per shave is way lower than a modern artisan soap. I promise. completely painless, just feels great. Great shave. In spite of me talking the whole time and barely concentrating, it was good. That's what happens if you use good stuff. I'm gonna use a non-French thing, Thayer's Witch Hazel, because I feel like it and I wanna have something on the face to treat me, and I don't want to scent, and this is scentless and was kindly sent to me all the way from America. Someone used the Eau de Toilette, and this spray thing doesn't work. It never did work. I should have gone back, but I didn't want to bother them too much, but I should have. So I'm doing this. So I'm putting it on. I typically put on perfume down here in this little hole. That's good. That gets warm, and the heat makes the perfume rise to your nose. And sometimes put a little bit in the neck for the missus. Voila, that's it. That's the shave. I'm going to throw a few sirloin steaks. Yeah, we're having that again, but I'm making it myself on the barbie, and my wife made a salad, and we'll have some more wine, and then we'll probably fall asleep. But regardless of what happens after dinner, I smell good and I'm smooth. Santé, cheers. I'll see you soon. Enjoy your Friday evening or your day or evening whenever you're watching this, and stay sharp.